How's it going, everybody? Just a little pre-warning before we get into the video. This is going to be one of the longer ones I've done. It's about the Harvest Right freeze dryer we got. So it's the unboxing and kind of going through the first steps and doing the first batch on it and everything that goes into it. So if you're interested in it, check it out. Like I said, it's long and it goes through the whole process of it all. There will be more videos coming up when we actually do some food that we're going to save and seal and everything else. So just your fair warning. All right, hope everybody's having a great day. See, yeah, there it is. Big tamarack larch still laying there. I haven't got to cut it up yet, but we got our new Harvest Right freeze dryer and just got it home a couple days ago. Put it in the garage, but I'm trying to find a spot in the garage to put it. I'll show you here. Don't mind the dirty garage here. Let's see, get that about right there. So there it is. It comes in this cover of this box on there, and I believe they come with an insert as well that's got padding that goes along the sides and the front, so when you're traveling with that box over the top, it doesn't move. This one didn't have it. Maybe they took it off at the store that we had before, but just getting into it. First impression, I mean, it seems built well, and these trays that are here, they have like an orange gel kind of rubber on them and a foil on the top. This was actually sideways 90 degrees off when we picked it up, and the guy that we bought it from turned it, and from one of my buddies, he told me it was upside down just by the picture I took of it and posted. So we turned it over. There is a cord that plugs into these trays, and it goes all the way to the back, ties in on this side, and this tray was super tight against this rubber seal right here. It didn't want to sit inside of it, and it kind of wanted to sit on top of it down here at the bottom. So I pulled the tray out, and I saw that cable. Well, there's a box on the back of that, and it slides back and it hits that cable. And that little bit of cable lets it not go all the way to the back and makes it tight fitting on the door. So if you buy one, or if you have one and you've noticed that, that's probably what it is that cord that runs across it. It just goes behind and makes a 1/4 inch where it can't touch the back. So I took a broom handle and stuck it down this side here and held the cord with it and then pushed it in the back and let the cord go, and now the clearance is fine. The rubber seal fits good now. It fits down inside there like it's supposed to. It's oriented right. So I've been messing with the door a little bit. It's got these drop down pins here and in the bottom, and it kind of free floats, so when you tighten it, it can move to make an even seal on that rubber. The bottom one seems like it's decent shape. It seems like this top one is like the pin is too small to go inside the plastic, so it just drops down inside the plastic, and it seems looser than the bottom one. It doesn't seem like it should be that loose, and there's nothing you can really do to tighten it up, so we'll see how it goes, but I think that's just the way it's designed. This one came with a premium pump, which that's why we bought it, is the local company was selling them for cheaper than Harvest Right, who's having a St. Patrick's Day sale with the premium pump for I think $28.95, and our local store is $26.99, and I could go pick it up and I don't got to wait a month or whatever to get it. So we'd been looking for a while, and we figured if we're going to do it, now's the time to do it, get it cheaper than I've ever seen it, plus with the upgraded pump. So here it is. Now I got to find a place to put it. We were going to put it downstairs. We have an area next to our pool table. There was supposed to be a bar there at one time, so there's a drain, power, everything you need, but it's in the house downstairs, and I don't want to have to listen to that running. I'm going to hook it up and try it and see what it is. It might end up down there, but I doubt it. We also have a storage room downstairs that we may use. If not, it's going to end up in here in the garage. So we're going to play with it this weekend and find a couple places to put it. Most likely it's going to end up in the garage. So I'm going to open this other box up, kind of go through that, and then we'll go into trying to find somewhere to put it. So we're gonna open up this other box that comes with the starter kit, the pump, and everything else, but it comes with this note on the front. Notice, basically damage or shortages. It says missing items from your order. It says all shortages must be reported within 24 hours. Compare number of cartons delivered with quantity of cartons shown on your receipt. Well, my receipt just shows 2 boxes, so hopefully all the little boxes in here are in here, because I don't think there's a list that shows what's supposed to be in here. But we'll open it up and see what's in here. So first off, we've got 50 oxygen absorbers. So we have some of these. We keep them for other food storage, so that's nice. It comes with some. We'll have to obviously order more. So you got that, and then we've got 50 Mylar bags. So that's nice. We're also going to use mason jars, which we got to get some more of those. Unfortunately, when we had our event rental business, we sold all of our stuff, and we had a lot of mason jars, but we don't have those anymore, so we're going to get some more. So next you've got your oil filter. Contains 1 oil filtration system. Got that. And then we got high vacuum pump oil. I don't know how many oil changes this will do. It's 1 quart, so we shall see. We got our hoses and our cables to plug it in. Impulse sealer. Try that out. We've got owner's manual. Don't need that. Make sure and read that. Troubleshooting guide, so that's nice. And a guide to freeze drying. Good little starter kit. You got your 4 trays here. So this is the medium. They make a small, which has 3 trays, and a large, which is 5. Sounds like most people get the medium. The company we bought it from, they only carry the medium. And I was looking at the small, but after getting these 4 trays, that's a decent amount of trays, but they are kind of narrow. You get to the large, that's 5 trays, but they're wider and longer and deeper. So as much as we're going to use it, we'll be fine with this. And then, of course, you got the pump right here. So I'm going to find a place to put this. Once I find that place, I will open all this stuff up, and that'll be up next. Before we find somewhere to put it, I'm going to open up the pump, add some oil to it. Got the tape here. The box, it's got a nice sturdy box. Up. So let's see what we got here. Premium high vacuum pump oil. So I guess I got extra. Perfect. Pump out. Set it down. We got some more instructions there. Just kind of rip this off here. Just kind of sitting in a little tray. Definitely got nice packaging. This pump, it's got the dial here. I'll show you. Shows you how much oil you're supposed to have. The standard pump has a red screw on the top that you're supposed to add the oil through. This one, you add it through the filter there. Just gel packets, cord. It's quite a hefty pump. we got there. So I'm gonna pull this top off, and then we'll see how much oil we have to add. So I'll get that off real quick, and then we'll show that. Okay, so it takes 25 ounces of oil, which is exactly what this is, so that makes it easy. This screws right off the top, super easy. You get your sight glass, you get your drain here, so we'll just throw this whole thing in there, and hopefully it ends up between the right marks, but yeah, just threads right on there, piece of cake. That filter needs to be cleaned every once in a while too, but that'll be a while before we get to that. Fighting with the foil, like usual. Alright, go a different route. Be nice if I had a funnel. So I can already see it in the sight glass. Buddy Jeremy at Living the Dream Homestead did the same thing with his. Needed a funnel as well. And I saw him spill it all over the place. I got lucky I didn't spill it at all. But I think I've got a bigger fill hole than he does. That's about all of it there. Obviously you want this thing level when you're doing this. Now, this is showing that it's over full. I have a feeling that it's showing that because it hasn't ran yet. So once I run it, it'll probably suck oil into wherever it needs it, and it should be where it's at. I'm gonna run it overfilled a little bit, and hopefully that is correct. I haven't read anything in the manual about it yet, but I'm guessing that's what's going on. So, like I said, it's a little over full, but we'll get back to you, and I'll run it and check if it's right or not, and see if it did what I think. Now, we'll try to find a spot for it again. I decided I'm going to test it out here. I got to do a couple test functions, turn it on, make sure you go into here, push a little green leaf, turn on the freeze for 30 minutes, and then turn the pump on for a little while and make sure everything works and seals. You're supposed to wait 24 hours after moving this thing to let the refrigerant in it settle, so if you were to tip it on its side a little bit, this or that. So I don't want to move it too much. I want to test it here. I'll just leave it in the back of the truck and test it from here. And then once everything passes, then I'll move it to where it goes and it can sit. As you can see, I got the hose hooked up. The oil, I did drain a little bit out of it. As you can see there, it's right at the full mark, just below the full mark. I drained a little bit out just to bring it down, because if it is over full, it will, this oil filter here can get oil up in it, and then you got to clean it if it gets a bunch. So I think I'm going to have to add a little bit more to it once it circulates for the first time, but just to be safe, I let a little bit out of it. So I got the oil in that, I got the pump turned on, I got the hose hooked up. This drain hose over here needs to be in the off position. So it can make a vacuum. The door needs to be closed completely and latched. The seal needs to be cleaned, which I've already done. Plugged in there. On this pump, as you can see here, this stays in the open position. See, open and close. This one always stays in the open position. So I'm going to fire it up and do the tests on it. So let me turn the switch on here. See what happens. My buddy Jeremy did it. Same thing. He's like, oh, it's not working, but it takes a minute to light up. So there you go. It's loading. So it says to test stuff, you hit this little green leaf right here. And then it's got all these little sliders. You can see them. Probably not with a glare. Maybe there. So basically I'm going to hit those sliders. I'm going to hit the freeze and let that freeze for 30 minutes. So I just heard the compressor kick on. You can hear it there, fan running. So I'm gonna let that run 30 minutes. I'll come back and turn the pump on, let that run for its cycle, and if all's good, then my test will be done and it's going in the garage probably. Again, I'm gonna just say I don't want to put it in the garage because if it's cold in the winter or really hot in the summer, this loses efficiency. So I'd rather find somewhere to put it in the house. So we'll go round and round on that with the wife and see where we get. So be back. So we're half hour with the freeze tests going on. It's down to negative 33 degrees. That's good. So we fired up the pump and it did suck the oil down. So it was up here above. I drained some out to half. Once I started, it went down to probably a third. So I added some more oil. So now we're up almost to full, to max. So it didn't take that whole quart or that whole 25 ounces like it said it would. There's still some left in the bottle, but it took most of it. The seal, it's definitely got a good seal all the way around now. And shows your pressure here. I know it's hard to see this thing, but we're at 800 on the pressure. I think it's supposed to get to 500. It's supposed to run that vacuum pump for a half hour, but it's been 5 minutes and it's almost there. And the pump is super quiet. I watched some of the other videos and was like, oh man, the thing's pretty noisy, but I mean, we are outside, but the fan and the compressor on the freezer's louder, it seems like, than the pump. It's not bad at all. So this is probably gonna go downstairs because it's way quieter than we thought. Since we passed all of our tests, we're gonna do our first load in here. They say to load it with moist bread. So we get some moist bread over there. Got it closed up. We're gonna get this thing fired up. So this is the first time I'm doing it, so I gotta pick which pump I have. I have the Premier oil pump. She says their Premier has been saved. So you're supposed to wait till it gets to 32 degrees and then you can load food. As you can see here, since I did the test and I ran it, it's still cold in there, so we're at 16. Once it gets to 32, it says to load the food. So it went right to it because it was still cold from the test run we did. There's the moist bread top tray. They're all in there. So close the door. Make sure that's turned all the way tight and you can see your seal all the way around. Continue. So now it'll do its freezing cycle, and once it gets to a certain amount of time on freezing, pump will kick in, and pretty sure that's about automatic from there. There might be one more step. If it kicks another one on there, I'll start another video to update it. One more thing you gotta remember to do is close this drain valve before you or when you close the door and load your food, because once the pump kicks on, if that isn't closed, you could burn your pump up because it can't pull a solid vacuum. So as you can see, we moved on to the next stage, vacuum freezing. It's been 2 hours and 9 minutes. So I think it took about 2 hours before we got to that point. Pump's running, oil's good. That thing, I mean, super quiet. Surprised how quiet it is, but yeah, on to the next stage. So 3 hours and 52 minutes, and we're looks like an hour and 20 minutes into drying time. The pump got a little bit louder, a little aggressive with the oil. Going good. All right, so process is complete. Can't probably see that. It's bright. Oh, there we go. So it took 13 hours and 38 minutes. So we'll open this vent down here. That'll release vacuum. So that's done. You open the drawer and pull these out, and now this was just a test to run through, but got croutons, so it's ready to go. So that's it. That's the unboxing, and run it through the tests, and ran some moist bread through there for the first cycle. So we'll do another video where we put it and the noise inside, which is not going to be an issue like I was mentioning before, and tell you how the first batch of real food tastes. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe, like, share it, help brother out. All right, God bless y'all. Have a good one.